and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And we are live on the Mark Hoke Show. What's going on, everybody? Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment coming at you on KDAWN 101.5 FM. And we're sort of doing an extra broadcast. David Difference, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, what a difference a Dave makes, man. Why am I so blurry on this thing?
I don't know why you're blurry. You may have to
sabotaging me. Oh, here we go. Is that you on adjustments?
There you go. No, I didn't touch it.
Oh, beautiful.
All right. But yeah, we are broadcasting actually also on YouTube and Twitch right now. So we'll see how this goes today. Should be a lot of fun.
It shall be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there you go. Dave, you can't hold the mic. You're popping it. Trust me. You don't touch the mic, man.
Well, I gotta adjust. I move around a lot.
Yeah, grab the bracket.
What do you want? Grab this?
No, grab this. Look, see? Look right here. Right here.
I can't see it.
Right here. See that? There you go. You
This?
got it. Yeah, you got. There you go. That's it, buddy.
Huh.
It's bad for the mic. Trust me. Trust me. It's bad for the listeners.
It's
too.
bad for the show, man.
Yeah. So
All right, guys. I apologize to everybody.
it's all good. But wow, David, did we have a week of pro wrestling? My God. Forbidden Door Sunday night, Money in the Bank last night, and a bunch of stuff in between.
Yeah, it was a good week. Good week for wrestling.
Absolutely. So we're going to get to talk all about that. And we're going to welcome back to the show in a little bit. Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com is going to join us. Of course, he writes all those great articles for you on Fightful, and also co-host of one of the shows on Fightful to do on Fightful Overbooked, does the In the Weeds show.
Okay.
That should be did you ever watch that?
Weren't you on that?
I was on that.
Yeah, that's the one time I watched it, man.
Well, you need to watch it more.
Do I? You know how much stuff I need to watch more?
Yeah, I don't. It's welcome to covering pro wrestling.
Right.
It's a little bit difficult, but yeah, like I said, ton of things happening this week, and I didn't even know where to start. I guess, why don't you and I start off with talking a little bit about yesterday with WWE Money in the Bank and just some overall thoughts on the card before we, really break that down. Overall, thought it was a pretty good show. I know that there were moments that you were not happy.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Right, yeah. Maybe one or two.
One or two.
Yeah, overall, I mean, are we going to get in the weeds, or are we going to?
Well, we will as the show goes along.
As it progresses. Okay,
as it progresses.
Yeah, there were some moments, that could have, but still a good show. Moments for me as a fan that, I would have wanted something different. But overall, I was entertained throughout.
What disappointed you?
The ladder match, the men's ladder match, the winner of that, I'm not really on board with that. I think that's it.
Oh,
was that it? Was there something else that you recall me ranting about?
No, but yeah, so just the disappointment in Damian Priest winning the Money in the Bank ladder match yesterday. So he has the briefcase to cash in for a championship shot at any time over the next year. So that actually extends through to the next Money in the Bank. So it used to kind of stop at WrestleMania, but now it is a full year. So I'm getting the feeling, David, that you don't see Damian Priest as a world champion.
I do not. I mean, anything can happen. People can evolve and whatnot, but currently, no, I do not. I mean, not an impactful one. Anybody can damn near have the belt, but I'm saying to be like an impactful, oh, that's the champion right now. No,
I don't know. I'd be okay with it. I think he's progressed a long way since when he first came in, and he certainly got a lot of popularity, especially in the Latin community.
Well,
super popular.
No, hats off to him. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm saying there's certain champions that move the needle. Certain lines that move the needle. It's like, okay, this is a different field. It's like Roman Reigns, LA Knight could be. Things of that nature.
Oh, so now we get to the root of the issue. Now we got to the problem.
Yeah.
We got to the problem.
Yeah, that's my guy.
You wanted LA Knight to win this match, didn't you?
I think everybody did. You didn't?
I would have picked LA Knight to win. I thought it was going to be either LA Knight or Logan Paul.
Yeah, I think everybody did, but you know what they do, how they do us.
And Triple H in the press conference talking about LA Knight not winning the title basically said good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
So I guess they just felt like they weren't quite ready to pull the trigger on him yet. And to a point I understand that. To a point. He really has just started on this rise of popularity. But if you think back just a few months ago, he was in that pitch black match with Bray Wyatt that he lost.
Yeah.
And he actually lost a lot of matches leading up to this recent surge where everybody was just like, what are you guys doing with LA Knight? We're getting on board. You better listen to us.
Yeah, no, I think there's still room. Like we don't count them out, right?
No, I think the time's going to come.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think for a lot of fans, and certainly you heard it in London last night. I mean, that was a crazy crowd, but they were a little crazy for LA. They wanted LA to win.
Yeah, they were. We'll talk about. I mean, because we're talking as if he had the chance to win the belt last night. If you win Money in the Bank, that's like, oh, you next up. You got a shot. You got a whole year to flesh out whatever you're going to become before you can cash that out. So, I mean, I don't think it would have been too soon, but I'm definitely like, I don't think anybody needs the top title to be our guy.
Well, and that's an argument that a lot of people are making this morning is that, look, he's that over. He doesn't need the belt to be over with the crowd. And, a lot of times, we talked about this when it happened with Bodie Young Prodigy, just on a local level, where he won the No Limits title for about 10 minutes and then lost it.
Yeah.
That probably elevated him more than just winning the title and walking out with it, because now people are even more on his side and want him to win even more. So I'm guessing that WWE is kind of hoping that that's going to have the same effect.
Yeah, it's yet to be seen. I guess same with Bodie. It's like we haven't seen him since that fiasco. So I mean, see how the crowd reacts, and yeah, we'll go from there. I don't think it ain't stopping the momentum. I'll tell you that much.
No, I mean, LA Knight is so ridiculously over. It's not funny. And but I actually went back and watched a little bit of it last night, and just God, that London crowd was so crazy yesterday.
Yeah, it was jacked. I watched the documentary on Eli Drake's all his through TNA and just how they misused them and the beef he had with them at the end there. So
why do you think that is? This is strange to me, because he's really good in the ring. He's a great promo.
Yeah.
You know him. I mean, I've never met the guy, but he's obviously came out of here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, that I can't see. I don't know. I mean, obviously they talk about in WWE was the age thing. I don't think TNA had that problem, but it's like, I mean, that he's got all of it. Charisma, look, talent in the ring. Like when you see him, it's like, oh, that guy, what is he? He's a pro wrestler. Like I said, when he was at FSW doing his thing with Karrion Kross, and it was like he was watching a big time event happening. So I don't get it. The crowd always likes him, but sometimes they put him in. I was watching in TNA. They did it like a 2-month-long gimmick where he couldn't talk at all, and it's like, why would you do that with the best talker in the business?
Well, TNA made some mistakes.
Yeah, TNA
just a few.
Let me not get into that. Some of my people over there, but
it's all good.
Old school TNA. I'm not a fan.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, but very interesting Money in the Bank match last night, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, some great spots, boy. And the funny part was, if you didn't see this last night, Ricochet and Logan Paul did a spot where, and actually I think they messed it up a little bit, but they ended up doing a Spanish fly off the middle rope onto some tables that it didn't look like a good landing for Logan.
Oh yeah,
he ate some lumber, I think. But a crazy spot there. Ricochet did another one where he actually jumped through a ladder outside of the ring. Just some really neat things that they did in that match, to say the least. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah, very entertaining. I'm like, ladder matches are always one of my favorite type of matches, but I never understand how you can put yourself through that, man, because there's so many nuances to a ladder, corners and ridges and this and that, and the way you can land on it, the way you can hit it. It could end up bad. Remember, what was it, Eminem, when he got popped in the face? Was that him?
That was Joey Mercury.
Yeah, yeah, like
It,
that. I see that happening every match, but yeah, it can be tragic, man. And I know it's painful. I talked to some of the guys, they're like, you can't really practice this. It's like you just get out there and hope it goes well.
no, it was funny because when they did that ladder match at FSW at the 14th anniversary show too, it was really interesting to see a lot of the guys walking around after that match. If you could call it walking.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it takes its toll, man. It's crazy. Imagine that, man. Like you just came to open the door for me and you was walking around like you was in a ladder match.
yeah, it happens. It happens.
Right.
By the way, got a person in the chat box on my Twitch channel. Old friend of mine, JJ Corrado. I can't say what he said, but hi, JJ.
Tell me about JJ, man. That's your guy?
Yeah, we actually used to co-host my poker show together.
Okay.
Yeah, good friend out in Chicago. So thanks for tuning in, JJ. We do appreciate it. And just a reminder too, like I said, we're broadcasting on YouTube and Twitch right now. Just the Mark Hoke Show on YouTube, and I believe it's Mark Hoke Show on Twitch as well. So look us up, and you can join in the fun and say hi as we go through the show.
Yeah, how do you feel about this new format here?
Well, we'll find out after we put Jeremy Lambert on and everything works.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm worried about right now. Well, hopefully everything's going to go fine. So
yeah, it will, man. It's supposed to be what it's supposed to be, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, of course. I'm Mark Hoke with the David Difference. We are on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. We are the talk of Las Vegas, and of course, everybody out there joining us on the Odyssey app worldwide.
Hello.
And by the way, I apologize, Mark Hoke on Twitch. I may have to change that, but we'll see. But but pretty exciting stuff. Oh man, and Forbidden Door, even though didn't have the greatest of times watching it per se, you and I.
Well,
it was still a good card. We'll get to talk about that.
Oh, will we? Maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk about Forbidden Door, but
well, what about Future Shock last night?
I don't know. What about Future Shock last night? You were there. I was not.
I'll tell you, FSW Future Shock. So Future Shock, for those that don't know, is like the students. A lot of times it's their first match. So their family comes out, their friends come out, really support. We had a packed house, a lot of debuts. It was like the energy was crazy. The crowd was going nuts, and a lot of guys' first matches. And I got some before and after interviews. Just like that's a monumental moment. And anybody that wants to do this as a career, the passion, the dream, that's step one right there. Well, step one is showing up.
Right.
That's a major step, is your first match, man. And shout out to everybody out there. And I ran into Bryan Danielson, Las Vegas wrestling scene. He's a good guy, man. He's back in action, covering all the action out there.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. Glad he's doing all right. Well, hey, you know what, by the way, we need to get to a commercial break, because when we come back, we got a good friend of mine who's going to be taking a little bit of time out from his holiday and the fam to join us here on the Mark Hoke Show. We are going to hear from Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com. Get his thoughts on what went on this week.
Yeah.
Lord knows he had to watch it all too, because that's what we do when we cover professional wrestling. It's a hoot, but we enjoy it. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more coming at you on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. We will be right back. The Mark Hoke Show is proud to announce our partnership with pro wrestling's premier charity, the Cauliflower Alley Club. For nearly 60 years, the CAC has stood strong, assisting members of the wrestling industry in their times of need. Please join us in supporting the Cauliflower Alley Club by becoming a member for just $25 a year, or make an individual donation today. Go to caulifloweralleyclub.org and give back to the people that have brought us so much entertainment and joy in pro wrestling. Once again, that's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM. It is the talk of Las Vegas. I'm Mark Hoke along with the David Difference.
Yeah. What a difference a day makes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a little off center on your camera there, buddy.
This thing. We'll get to I got Abraham Lincoln. Is that it? No. I got these little rats behind me. I don't like it.
Understood.
I don't like it.
I certainly understand. Well, speaking of rats, no.
That's how we're gonna start this.
No, that's not how we're gonna do it.
Come on, man.
We're beefing right off the bat, Mark. What is happening here?
Not cool. We don't treat guests like that.
Oh no, I am so thrilled and so happy that we've got Jeremy Lambert on the show today, taking the time out over your holiday weekend to join us, and from Fightful.com, of course, doing that show In the Weeds too, which is pretty darn good.
Thank you.
It's really darn good when you have certain guests on the show.
True. You've been a guest on the show, Mark, and we appreciated when you joined us. I like how you say holiday weekend, like I ever have a holiday around it. Like other people have holidays. It's technically for the rest of the world or the rest of the country, I guess, a holiday. But like wrestling news doesn't stop. These people don't know how to take breaks, so there is no holiday weekend where I work at.
No, there's definitely not. That is for sure. Well, Jeremy, let's start firing off about what happened over the past 2 weekends, because it's been pretty crazy. We were talking about Money in the Bank before you came on. Just first, your general thoughts on Money in the Bank.
The crowd was electric for Money in the Bank. I thought they boosted that show exponentially. It wasn't even a bad show or anything, but the crowd really, really made that show seem like a bigger deal than some of the in-ring action. Most of the matches were good, and no problem with any of it, but man, that crowd was fantastic. And I mean, John Cena, that was a big surprise. And then him coming out there and advocating for a WrestleMania in London, and also kind of burying its Bizarro World in London, and that's why we don't like to come here. But you know what? We're gonna show them why you are so great. That was we know why that segment was happening. AEW is about to do 65,000 in Wembley, and so they're like, we got to show them. We got to come here, put some pressure to bring WrestleMania into London. But I thought the crowd was fantastic. I thought the show was really good, and then we got the ending that. I think if you watch In the Weeds, you know I predicted that ending, and once that was the main event, it was like, yeah, they're setting up Roman getting pinned here, and that's exactly what they did. So overall, I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah, the crowd, and I'll, let me ask you about the whole situation in London. It is very difficult logistically to do a stadium show overseas, just because you have to get all the people over there and the equipment. And when I was at WrestleMania, I finally got to see close up what they're doing now. And it's so much different than doing an arena show. Do you think that it is a viable possibility to do a WrestleMania overseas, considering everything that they have to go through? Plus the fans have to get there too. And I'm sure they'll still sell it out. They could still sell it out with the European crowd, but the American fans are used to going, man, could be a rough trip for them.
I definitely think they can sell it out easily. It's WrestleMania. I mean, American fans will make the trip for that. European fans make the trip all the time to America for WrestleMania. I imagine there's enough hardcore American fans who will still make that trip. It's 2 nights as well. I don't know if that makes it easier or not with the equipment. I would think it would make it easier because it's like, okay, we're not just using this for a 1-night thing. We're using it for a 2-night thing. I think the tough part is you not only got to do the 2 nights of WrestleMania, you got to do the SmackDown beforehand. You probably got to do the Raw afterwards as well. So everybody's over there for an extended period of time. And then the time thing could be a big thing because, okay, so do you air it live? And we don't quite know all these details with All In as far as where it's airing and everything. So it aired live at 3:00. The show yesterday, Money in the Bank, aired 3 p.m. Eastern for us here on the East Coast. And, but it was 8:00 over there in England. So do you air Money or do you air WrestleMania at like 11 o'clock at night over there in England. So it's still at 7, 8 o'clock for fans in America. I don't know how that works out totally. I think the time kind of throws it off more than like anything logistically. I just don't know if they want to do that, have a WrestleMania at 3 in the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday. I think there's a lot that goes into it, and that's why we haven't seen it yet. But look, if you're throwing John Cena out there to do that spot, you got to deliver at some point in the near future. You can't just do that and be like, you know what? You guys weren't loud enough. That segment didn't hit. Like, no, that segment hit.
Absolutely. Well, your thoughts on the Money in the Bank winners? I know my cohort David Difference is not pleased with the men's winner.
Furious. Nah. I mean,
you're disappointed. You're disappointed. He's a big LA Knight guy.
That's my guy.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about both the Money in the Bank winners?
Look, I think Damian Priest makes sense because they beat the guy like a drum all the way leading up to it. And usually when they beat a guy that often leading into Money in the Bank, they have him win Money in the Bank. It's like, oh, okay, he has the briefcase now. And he'll probably keep taking losses because he still has the briefcase. He wasn't involved in a lot of those like big brawl segments as well. So they kept him out of that. I think it makes sense. And I think there's a good story there with Priest. And they teased it a little bit last night with Finn Balor potentially winning, cashing in on Finn, and then Priest is like, no, I was never going to cash in on Finn. I think there's a decent enough story there. But I'm with David, man. Like, look, if you got someone as hot as LA Knight, just give him that briefcase. They miss this opportunity so often when somebody is so hot like this, and they just don't do it. They don't capitalize. And now you worry, okay, are the fans going to react the same to LA Knight? You hope so. You hope it works out, but you just don't know. Sometimes you just got to capture those moments and deliver on those moments with the crowd. And they had it last night with LA Knight, and they didn't give it to us. And now we'll see what the fallout is. I think there would have been a great story with LA Knight too, of doing a teased cash in and everything. I think you could make the story work with either Damian Priest or LA Knight. I'm not like totally mad at Priest. I understand it. There's a story. LA Knight was the guy to me though. EO, I'm 100% on board with. I think she's definitely deserved it for a long time. I think, again, there's a good story you can do there. I assume she'll hold it for a little while. They got the Bailey situation to figure out the damage control. Are they still together? Are they going to split? What's going to happen? What's going to happen there? But EO makes a lot of sense. And I imagine she'll go like full on baby face here pretty shortly. And then we'll get a nice little Asuka and EO feud set up in the coming months.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. It was interesting if you watched the press conference afterward last night that Io and Bailey came out together and were kind of, haranguing over the case, like they're like we're doing the old lay cool thing and splitting the case. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Bailey tried to cash the case in and won? And all hell breaks loose?
It's gonna happen. It's 100%. They kind of like did that with like Miz and Morrison, where like Morrison like cash in's like, oh no, but Morrison's not the holder, so this cash in doesn't like technically count. I feel like they did that with them. Maybe my memory's awful, but maybe I'm misremembering. But I feel like they did something like that where Miz's cash in didn't count because like Morrison was the one who cashed in. But this is why like this dynamic is going to work, because I think Bailey is going to be like, cash in now. I'm going to cash in for her. And then like it's not recognized. And then EO finally gets sick of it and is like, you know what? Go away, screw off. And then EO just fully splits on with Bailey. But Bailey's going to do some good lifting as far as this. That EO's like not a bad promo or anything. Like people really pop when she hits her lines in American. But not speaking a different language doesn't always connect, and the American audience obviously doesn't always understand what she's saying. So Bailey's going to carry a large portion of that. And Bailey's so good at just being obnoxious and being a heel that like the crowd's going to turn against her and get people more on EO's side. I'm really looking forward to this dynamic between these two. And it started, as you said, last night at the press conference.
Yeah. And, some other things that happened last night too. Of course, Gunther, nice hard hitting match with Matt Riddle last night. And then Drew McIntyre comes out and, it was funny at the press conference. Triple H was saying, I can't believe what they were saying about Drew. So apparently some people may have had this whole situation wrong, but Drew McIntyre will be challenging Gunther. I would imagine that's going to happen at SummerSlam. Of course, the crowd goes crazy for Drew showing up. They had to do it there. But now we're going to get Drew and Gunther as Gunther is trying to break the Honky Tonk Man's record. What do you think, Jeremy?
It's interesting because I actually said I thought Drew McIntyre would return last night, and I said what if he confronts Gunther? Because everybody was looking at Money in the Bank, everybody was looking at maybe going after Seth and turning heel and stuff like, what if he just confronts Gunther? And that's exactly what happened. Now it's a weird position because Gunther breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record makes a lot of sense, but also Drew not taking an L in his first big match back because he just lost at Mania to Gunther also makes sense. So what do? Do you have Gunther win to continue on to break that record? Or do you cut it, just a couple months short, maybe even like a month short, and so you protect Drew so he doesn't take that loss and he defeats Gunther to win the Intercontinental title. They put themselves in an interesting position that I could see it going either way, either Drew winning so you don't have him lose another big match, or Gunther winning so he does go on to break the record. I would have Gunther break the record. That's just my personal call.
All right. Of course, we are on with Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com, taking the time out to join us here on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. Another weird one that last night, the women's tag teams match with the split. And by the way, Jeremy, we missed out because on our favorite little site, betonline.ag, Raquel and Liv were a plus 1,000 to win that match last night. We could have made a mint on that one, but it was just kind of weird that came out of nowhere. What'd you think of that?
I loved it. I do think it was hilarious that Shayna Baszler did a bunch of media after winning the titles like 2 weeks ago of like, there's not enough tag teams in this division. We want more people together and really establishing this division so we don't have like 4 weeks of work and then we've cleaned out the division. And then like first opportunity she gets, she just splits with Ronda, turns on her. It's like, well, now you have one less tag team in the division, Shayna. So you've left the new champions, Raquel and Liv, with one less tag team to feud with. I liked it though. I thought it didn't make sense. Maybe not, but like, did it garner the reaction that they were looking for? Absolutely. And I think a Shayna and Ronda feud, which they've wanted to work together and they wanted to do the tag team thing. I think they wanted to do a singles match at some point down the line. Maybe this was a little early for it, but this is decided when they decided to go with it. I liked it though. I like Shayna as a babyface who's just sick of Ronda, and I assume she's the babyface anyway. The reaction said babyface. I hope they don't try to heel Shayna and then try to babyface Ronda, because that would not work at all. They got a babyface Shayna on this, but I liked it, and the SummerSlam match should be good. I don't know how much like longer Ronda is for this, and maybe that's why the turn was now, because I don't know if Ronda's going all the way to like WrestleMania 40. I think it's fair to say her momentum, all of her steam has like this second return has cooled completely, and I just don't know how much she's actually going to stick with this further. So do the match at SummerSlam, see where you're at from there.
Yeah, we talked about Ronda yesterday. Like, she used to be the biggest deal in the business, and it was like, now it's just way under the radar. So, no, it's good. I'm supposed to mute it from here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we good, man. We working it out. But yeah, it's she just used to be a big deal, and now it's just kind of like, it's like whatever. She used to be that Brock Lesnar type figure. But I think after the L in MMA and then coming back and leaving and coming back, like the magic is gone. But I'm excited to see this feud though, and it was kind of like just spur of the moment, the way she turned on her. Like nobody expected that.
No, not at all. And like sometimes when those quick turns happen, like they can either be really good or be like, wait a second, this wasn't built up at all. We weren't expecting this at all. You can't do it so often. That's where WCW got in trouble. It's like, hey, let's just turn everybody every single week. And it's like, oh, well, this makes no sense at this point. So they haven't really done like a kind of heel on heel turn like this in a while, at least not to my recollection that I can fully get. My memory's bad. But it doesn't feel like we've had something like this in a little while. So this worked. And like, if you're just going to gauge it off of audience reaction, which I think is how a lot of things should be gauged, this worked.
Yeah. No, I agree. So tell me this, man, how long you've been in the business and like your evolution to where you are now, like as far as making this your career?
Oh God.
Switching lanes a little bit.
Oh gosh, I don't like talking about myself either.
Come
I've been doing this. I think like one of the first things I covered was the Ultimate Fighter 5, BJ Penn and Jens Pulver season. That was like the first thing that I like got paid for. So I started in like UFC, MMA kind of route, and then I went more into wrestling. I've been with Fightful since again, memory awful, 2018, doing like wrestling news, kind of like daily stuff. And that was basically when this became more of a full-time kind of career. But I've been doing this since like high school, and I'm 34 now. So it's been a while. It's been a grind. I've been shooting in the gym for a very long time.
Okay.
Very nice. All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We'll get reaction to Roman Reigns, and then we'll talk a little Forbidden Door with you, Jeremy, and a whole lot more, if that's all right.
Yep.
Well, of course it is, because it's my show. We're going to do what I say. No, it's all good.
Mark, come on.
What?
You're the boss,
I'm just
Mark.
having fun. I'm just having fun.
That's fun. You're a bully.
I'm not a bully.
He's calling me a rat to start
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
and now
yeah.
he's like, whatever we're doing. It's the Mark
it's all-
Hoke show. It's my
it's
show.
It's
my
all
show.
good.
It's my show.
Jeremy knows I love him. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get that break in. And when we come back, more with Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com as we keep rolling here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FN and streaming on that Odyssey app and YouTube and Twitch. And probably be doing more too. It'll be fun.
Maybe.
So, of course, David Difference here as well. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. If you're looking for an award-winning dining experience at outstanding prices, look no further than Unique Eats. Whether it's their incredible breakfast platters, amazing pastas and sandwiches, or world-renowned pizzas, celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco will have you covered. Check out their coffee and smoothie bar, vegetarian options, catering, and top-flight service. Visit Unique Eats today at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. Call 702-992-3038 or go to uniqueeatslv.com, and we'll see you all at Unique Eats.
Carl's Jr. is warning you. The El Diablo burger is back and blazing with flavor. With charbroiled beef, bacon, jalapenos, pepper jack, and fiery habanero sauce. The kind of heat that makes grown men sweat. Your mouth will be on fire. Your mouth will cry. Just tell your mouth, El Diablo made you do it. My rewards members can set their mouth on fire for just $6.66 from the Carl's Jr. app with a one-time offer for an El Diablo single. Tax not included. Limit 1. See app for terms.
Attention Nevada residents. Education is key to unlocking your potential and achieving success. Unfortunately, 16% of Nevada students do not graduate high school, leaving them at a disadvantage. But there is hope. The Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy, a voluntary and tuition-free educational program offered by the National Guard, is here to help. Using a military model and an 8-core component curriculum, the Academy is dedicated to reclaiming the potential of disproportionately affected youth. The program is designed for those who are dedicated to becoming a better version of themselves. For more information or to talk to the admissions team, please visit our website at battlebornyouthchallenge.org. That's battlebornyouthchallenge.org. This message is sponsored by Battleborn Youth Challenge Academy in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
In Nevada, anything that goes into the storm drain goes directly to our local waterways, which can pollute Nevada's lakes and rivers. Nevada is the driest state in the nation, and we must work together to preserve our limited water resources for future generations of Nevadans. Here's some waterway wisdom so you can help do your part. Scoop your dog's poop, bag it, and discard it. Clean up yard waste and grass clippings. Wash your car at a car wash or on grass or gravel. Apply pesticides and fertilizers sparingly in your yard. Safely dispose of household chemicals. Clean up leaks and spills. And don't litter. Secure trash in bins. Keep contaminants out of our storm drains. Use waterway wisdom. And remember, only rain should go into the storm drain. Join us in preserving Nevada's waters for future generations by visiting loveenvywaters.com and following us on social media.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Transportation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
I never seen it like
We've
this.
lost a lot of loved ones in our family.
I lost some family members to COVID.
So many of my patients pass away from COVID.
People dying. It didn't matter your color, your race, your sex.
Death has no particular color. It comes after us all.
Every human life has value. Just does.
COVID taught us
Health matters.
Health matters. Visit nmhec.org. This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health and Equity, and in cooperation by the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
There is no known safe amount of marijuana use during pregnancy. Marijuana is not safe for pregnant or breastfeeding women and their babies. Everything a mother eats, drinks, or smokes affects her developing baby or enters her breast milk. Just like alcohol and tobacco, using marijuana can have negative effects for your baby. Any form of marijuana may be harmful during pregnancy and while breastfeeding. Marijuana can affect your ability to care for your baby or someone else's baby. It is best for women to quit using while pregnant and breastfeeding. If you are pregnant or a new mother using marijuana, you are urged to seek help to quit. Pregnant women receive priority admission at state-funded treatment centers. Visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org. That's SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211. This message sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
In a kayfabe world, LasVegasWrestlingScene.com brings you the real story. Las Vegas Wrestling Scene is the source for pro wrestling news, along with their up-to-date events calendar. Visit LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show, live here on Sunday morning. Hope everybody's having a great 4th of July weekend. A really long weekend, by the way.
Yeah, for some people, huh? Some people is going to work tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'll be here. Yeah, that kind of sucks. We get a holiday on
A
Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, but not Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, no talking to Odyssey about that, I guarantee it. But of course, we are live here on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, with Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com. And Jeremy was sitting very patiently during the commercial break on the live stream, just looking very comfortable.
To the commercials, enjoying the music that was playing on some of the commercials.
Yeah, it's a hoot, isn't it? But anyway, let's get back to what was going on the last couple of weekends and wrap up Money in the Bank with Roman Reigns taking his first pinfall defeat since 2019 December that month.
What was that? His what?
First pinfall
defeat.
Defeat.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Took the 1-2-3 to Jey Uso. Jeremy, you pretty much had this on spot. What are your thoughts about Roman finally taking a pin?
I think it's setting up for a big SummerSlam match. I think they're doing a 3-way at SummerSlam. I know Jey was the one who got the pinfall. I think Roman is now going to try to pit them against each other and be a manipulator. Like, he pinned me, but like, you're the one who like set it up. Don't you want this title as well? Aren't you tired of being in your brother's shadow? Main event, Jey, you were injured. He rose. I think he's going to try to pit them against each other a little bit. And we're going to get the big bloodline triple threat at SummerSlam. It was, wasn't shocking to me. I called this, of course, Roman pinning.
You're
and
brilliant.
They did allude to it. They did allude to it a little. Yes, I am. Thank you. They tried to allude to it a little in the build-up, but I think they're setting up for the bloodline triple threat at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that would be something, David. I honestly, I hadn't really thought about that one, but that's a good choice.
Where's Cepha or Solo sitting that one?
That might be where Solo kind of makes his decision, because Roman's just kind of, when the Usos were like, that's the next tribal chief, Roman's just like laughing, like, no, this guy? No, get out of here. And Solo, of course, took the L in the tag team title match at Night of Champions. I think Roman's always just kind of been a little dismissive of Solo and just kind of took him for granted of like, he's just doing my bidding. That's what he's here for. He's just the enforcer guy. And I think that's where Solo at SummerSlam might really make his decision of, I'm siding with Roman. I actually see the full on benefit to this, and I'm going against my brothers. Or maybe he turns against Roman, and maybe Roman drops the title at SummerSlam. Maybe. Just throwing it out
Wow.
there.
There it is. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Prediction.
that'll be something. So we'll see where things end up at SummerSlam Detroit coming up next month. That is going to be pretty sensational. Another sensational night, of course, we had Forbidden Door with AEW last week too, and some amazing matches and some pretty stunning performances. And I guess we probably just should start off with Will Osprey and Kenny Omega and that about 40-minute match that was just absolutely incredible. I know, Dave, you were actually pumped up about that one.
Oh yeah, I couldn't sit still.
You couldn't?
Nah, that was the one because I didn't see the first match that they did, so I just watched the hype package before the show, and that hyped this up for me. So I was looking forward to see what a 5-star match would be.
Dave gave it a 6.
That's almost 6, yeah.
Dave gave it a 6.
Yeah.
I hate when he does that, by the way. Whenever sometime I'm going to get Dave on the show and I'm going to ask him about that. It's like, why did you make 6 and 7? It's 5 stars. Just give everybody a 5. We're good. But Jeremy, was it that good?
It was fantastic. But I prefer the first match. I like the Tokyo Dome match at Wrestle Kingdom more than I like the Forbidden Door match. Again, this is no knock on the Forbidden Door that match, because it was a great match. I just like the Wrestle Kingdom match a little bit better. I don't do star ratings because I think it's a lot of times just splitting hairs of like, why is this a 4 1/4 compared to 4 1/2? Like, I don't like doing all of that. I don't feel I'm super knowledgeable and pay attention to enough of those details to be able to nitpick that much on the star ratings. It's personal enjoyment for me. I personally enjoyed the first match between Osprey and Omega more than the second match, but the second match was great.
Yeah, it was pretty sensational. And then, we had the main event, and everybody was kind of wondering why Bryan Danielson was going one-armed, if that was part of a gimmick. Oh no. Bryan Danielson had a bone in his forearm snapped in half that he performed for 10 minutes with that against the Rainmaker Okada, and got through it. Still had a terrific match. It was a shame that happened, because I think it took away a little bit from what was going on out there. But to think that Danielson was performing with a broken forearm like that, quite honestly, that thing could have popped through. I mean, that could have become a compound fracture if the wrong thing happened in the ring. It was just amazing. Jeremy, what was your thoughts on Danielson and Okada?
I mean, Bryan Danielson's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, in my opinion. To see him push through, do that performance, not super shocking. Like you, I was like, is he selling? And then it was pretty obvious, like, oh no, he's not selling. That thing is hurting, because there's no reason to really sell. They hadn't really told a story of the arm or anything like that. So it was legit. Maybe a little disappointing if your expectations were a 6-star match. I don't think it quite hit that level or anything. The injury certainly had something to do with that, because even Danielson admitted, yeah, we had to change kind of the finishing stretch a little bit on there. But the tap was super, super shocking. I don't think anyone expected Okada to tap. I went back and rewatched the match. I like it more on replay than I did live, because you kind of know that he's not selling at that point. You know the tap is coming. So I paid less attention to the crowd, because the crowd was a little out of it after the convulsion spot. It took me out of it too, to be honest. And then once you learned, like, he kind of did that spot to inform the doctor and inform Okada, like, hey, this is messed up here. It was just more to get the attention. But live, like, doing that spot is like, oh man, do we really need this? On replay, it makes a little bit more sense of why it happened. So I did like the match more on replay. It was still a great match. I expect they'll run it back at some point, potentially Wrestle Kingdom next year. And I expect they're going to have another great match, probably even better, the rematch than this one.
Yeah, it was something pretty sensational. I do feel bad for CM Punk, as well. If you missed it, he took a flying elbow in a place that most men would prefer to not have that happen, but still a pretty good match with Tanahashi. But I did see that when it happened, and I was kind of like, oh wow, that looked like it hurt. I was holding on to the man jewels on that one. It was not good, but otherwise a pretty good match for CM Punk coming back.
It was a good match, and he's had good performances since coming back. I'm looking forward to the Samoa Joe match next week on Collision after Joe defeated Roderick Strong last night. And I like CM Punk, honestly. I love the chaos that he brings to AEW. I love that you don't always know what you're going to get from him on the microphone. And I think sometimes that's missing in wrestling, where a lot of it can feel very just manufactured and put together and obviously scripted out there. CM Punk will shoot from the hip a little bit, and the crowd's gonna react how they're gonna react, and he's gonna feed into it. So I've missed CM Punk. It's been nice having him back.
Well, Jeremy, that's gonna wrap it up for you, buddy.
Oh, wow.
As much as we're gonna miss you.
Flew by.
I know
the intro was horrible. That's gonna wrap it up for you. Like, let's be cordial, man.
Oh man,
He's just got the hook, just pulling me off stage.
You're out
because I'm on a hard break. What am I gonna do?
I don't know.
I can't go through the commercials.
Appreciate you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
Hey, real fast, tell everybody where they can find you, buddy.
FightFulOverbook.com, In the Weeds, Tuesday or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern. Again, FightFulOverbook.com, Fightful.com. I'm doing an Oreo eating contest against Matt Brannigan tomorrow. FightFulOverbook.com, 5 p.m. Eastern. Watch me eat a bunch of Oreos.
That's going to be a blast. Jeremy, thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Right,
good to see you, brother. There you go. Jeremy Lambert, everybody. And that's going to do it for the first half hour of the show. Or first hour, excuse me. Sorry.
Damn, get it together today,
dude.
Man.
I'm watching a stream and everything else. All sorts of stuff going on.
Focus.
We'll be back for hour number 2 for more pro wrestling news and entertainment. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the other side.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM KDAWN.
Being a baseball play-by-play broadcaster demands a blend of learned mechanics, intense preparation, and a calm sense of entertainment. How hard is it to do this job? Let's talk to the ones who do it. This is Matt Spiegel. My new podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, will bring those conversations to you as the best working and former broadcasters tell you why and how they do it. New episodes come every Thursday all summer long. Follow The PBP, Voices of Baseball, on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. Yeah!
Right now, save big on Carl's Jr.'s big, bold double burgers for just $3.49. Double charbroiled patties and double cheese on the Carl's Jr. Double Cheeseburger. Grilled onions and classic sauce on the Cali Classic Double. Or a mouthful of fire with the new jalapeno, pepper jack, and habanero El Diablito Double. Carl's Jr. Double Deals, just $3.49. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
The 2023 CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinals are coming to Las Vegas. This electrifying match features the region's top nations competing in a must-win match to punch their ticket to the final. Can Mexico return triumphantly and advance in their quest for another Gold Cup? Don't miss the action, and the region's biggest stars compete for North America's top soccer prize. July 12th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Get your tickets for the Gold Cup semifinals at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, visit goldcup.org.
Hey, Nevadans, prescriptions can be expensive. Let the Array RX discount card be your solution. Now available to all Nevada residents. Simply sign up for free. Show your pharmacist your digital card and save money. Receive discounts of up to 80% on certain medications. There are no age or income restrictions, and it only takes a minute to enroll, so you can get back to doing what makes you happy.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
After serving in the military, life can seem like an endless loop. But cycle can be broken. You're not alone. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone. Ask about your company's emotional health benefits. Visit heart.org/sharing. Brought to you by the American Heart Association.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K260HCS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Big bullets fly in Baltimore. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. An overnight shooting breaking out in South Baltimore. 2 dead, dozens of others injured, including 3 who are in critical condition. Police say people were getting together for the Brooklyn Day annual celebration. A witness says at least 20 to 30 shots were fired around 12:30 a.m. The mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott, spoke about this tragic incident.
This was the reckless, cowardly act that happened here and that has permanently altered many lives and cost 2 people their lives.
As of right now, it's unclear what started this shooting, and no suspect is in custody. President Biden trying to sway public opinion on his handling of the economy. Fox's Jared Halpern is in Washington with more.
Bidenomics, as the White House is calling it, is working, the president says, touting easing inflation and expanded infrastructure and manufacturing investments.
Today, inflation is less than half of what it was a year ago. And that inflation caused by Russia and by the war in Ukraine.
But Americans so far are not convinced. The latest Fox News poll finds 60% of Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of the economy. 45% say they're falling behind on their personal financial situation. Just 11% are getting ahead. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
We have an update on Madonna for you. Apparently her kids are reportedly by their mother's side after she was rushed to the hospital for a serious bacterial infection last week. The 64-year-old star reportedly is back home and is feeling better. People close to her say that they're worried she burned herself out trying to keep up with her dancers and younger stars like Taylor Swift and Pink ahead of her celebration tour. That tour was sent to begin on July 15th, but has been put on hold due to these health issues. Really scary stuff when she was in the intensive care unit. America is listening to Fox News.
Jason in the House, the Jason Chaffetz podcast. There is always someone doing something stupid somewhere. Dive deeper than the headlines and the party lines as I take on American life, politics, and entertainment. Join me, Jason Chaffetz, every Wednesday as I shed light on the news and make some predictions along the way. You never know who will drop in. Subscribe now on foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts.
Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody, welcome back for hour number 2 of the Mark Hoke Show. Because that's what we do on Sundays. That's what apparently a lot of you are doing on Sundays too, by the way. David Difference, did you see those ratings?
I did, man. I just got the email.
The email?
Yeah, they sent me emails.
Nobody sent you an email.
They did, man.
Why are you lying?
Bonilla, he sent it.
Mark didn't send you an email.
He sent it. What do you want me to do?
I got $1 that says your email address is not in my boss's email box.
I got $2 to say it is.
Okay.
Do you know his contact list?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. Just guessing.
Yeah, we had drinks, man. We talked about he listened to the show. Remember, we told him, go back, listen to the show, see
Mhm.
how great it is. And he said, "Hey, these numbers, man, you're doing great."
They were, and I got to say a big thank you to everybody who's been listening to the Mark Hoke Show. And we see those numbers come in, and this last month was May, because of just the way the book comes out. If you don't know, Nielsen ratings are like 3 weeks behind. May was unreal. Like the overall number, spectacular, and we're beating music stations and everybody else, and we certainly do appreciate all of you out there listening to the Mark Hoke Show. It means a lot to myself and my co-host, the David Difference.
It means the world to me, guys. Look, man. No, give me a second here.
Okay.
The fact that you take your time out to listen to us rant and rave and make this beautiful wrestling show, it just means the world.
Yeah. So thank you.
If you're on the stream, you can see a tear dropping down my eye.
That you can see Dave's complete insincerity as he spoke.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah,
thought,
we are streaming, by the way. We are streaming on our YouTube channel at the Mark Hoke Show and Twitch Mark Hoke. So maybe I'll have to change that allegiance there. But that was my main Twitch, so I guess that's where I set it up a while ago.
Yeah, get it together, Mark. How many times do I say "get it together," Mark?
I don't know.
Well,
why don't
maybe
you
would
sit?
learn by now.
Why don't you sit in here and do a show, run the board, and a live stream while you're at it?
Let's swap.
Okay.
Now, like Mitchell, let's see how.
No,
it
I
turns
can't.
out.
You can't be on this board without being an employee. Sorry. Or I would. I'd be happy to. But anyway, but a lot of professional wrestling stuff going on, and we are covering it all here for you on the Mark Hoke Show. I want to thank Jeremy Lambert for coming on. I can't wait to see that Oreo eating contest, by the way.
Oh, man, I'm excited about that.
Man, Jeremy's going to get crumbs in the beard, and
yeah,
there's going to be like Oreo cream stuck all over the place. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the type of reasons why those ratings are so high, man, because we talk about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oreo cream in the beard.
Well, it's going to happen. But as for the pro wrestling, David, I know we were kind of getting into Money in the Bank, and, just to kind of wrap that up a little bit, Roman losing, obviously a monumental happening.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if you're a casual fan or maybe just be tuning in and like, well, what's this all about? Someone going through 3.5+ years of not taking a pinfall in a major company like that is unbelievable. I mean, not in a tag match, anything like that, just period. And Roman Reigns had that streak ended, by his cousin. And, that's got to be kind of cool, at least if it's going to happen, have it happen with family in the ring. You mentioned that when we were doing the reaction show last night, that, it's got to be great, at least working with family like that when you're, in a main event. And, it's just a certain extra comfort level and a good feeling when it's all over that, it's not just a job well done for you, but it's a job well done for the people that you care about in your family.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be a magical thing. I think of, if I had that relationship with my brothers or whatever. Yeah, just getting in there, and being at the top of the game is like, man, we did that. Like that. That's a beautiful moment, man. Either way. But yeah, it was monumental that he got pinned. I don't know what other way we could have saw that happening. I mean, what else did you foresee in that? I know you.
I didn't think Roman was going to take the fall.
Oh, yeah.
I was stunned. I really was. I was thinking, if the Usos were going to win that match, I actually thought they were going to lose, but kind of figured Solo would be the one taking the fall. But a shocking development there. And, I guess some other things that happened last night too on Money in the Bank that, I really did like too. The ending of the women's match was awesome. If you didn't see the match, you had Trish and Zoe Stark. Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark were battling out with Becky Lynch, and they tried to handcuff her to the ropes, but they couldn't do it. But they got one cuff on Becky. So Becky's running around with a pair of handcuffs on, and she and Bayley were climbing the ladder to try to get to the briefcase that's held up at the top of the ring. That's what the Money in the Bank ladder match is. And Io Sky, who is actually in Damage Control with Bayley, starts going up the ladder as well and manages to cuff both of them so that they were stuck in the ladder and they couldn't climb up because he had a chain in between. So they're stuck. And Io climbs over Bailey to get to the top and wins, and opens, gets the latch open and takes the briefcase. So Io's celebrating. And Becky, the looks on Becky and Bailey's faces were priceless.
It was golden.
That was unreal. They are just sitting there like, what happened, and pouting and rolling their eyes, and they are just having to sit through the celebration of Io Sky. That was a terrific finish to the match.
No, I think so. A lot of times in ladder matches, it's just somebody's in the ring by themselves. They climb it and they get it. That's not impactful. This one was fun. It was funny. And how she had to climb over to get it.
It's like, you are done. I climb over you.
Yeah.
The mountain, top of the mountain is now mine, Bailey.
Yeah, that was a good show, man. I don't think there was any. I mean, you got the Dominic, and I don't think did I.
Yeah, we really didn't talk about Dominic and Cody.
Yeah, I think I stepped out for a little bit of that one. That's when the Chicas girls came over.
Oh, stop.
But I think I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good match. Really, Rhea didn't get that involved.
Right. I recall that.
Yeah, there were more verbal tete-a-tetes between her and Cody. I'd like to see that match, though.
Who?
Rhea and Cody.
Relax.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, why?
Because Rhea's a badass. That's why. That would be fun.
I don't know, Mark.
No?
I mean, I'd watch it.
She's one of the few. And when I met her at WrestleMania and interviewed her, I mentioned that she was starting to tangle with the boys a little bit. It was just after she had body slammed Luke Gallows, who is a massive dude. That's not easy. And, just mentioned her, starting to mess around with the guys a little bit. She's she's in a category with China in terms of build and strength and ability that she could go toe to toe with a guy and you would actually find it believable. A lot of times when they do some of these intergender matches, it's like, no, there's no way. There's no way. But that one with Rhea Ripley taking somebody on, that one you could buy it.
Nah.
No.
Well, I mean, why would they book it? Like, who would it help?
Well, I don't know. I mean, just somewhere down the road, but
yeah.
But she is one of the few female professional wrestlers that you could buy her taking on a guy and winning.
Well, you look at like China. China was huge, right? So I don't see her in the same league as.
Oh, Rhea's jacked. I've stood next to Rhea. She's pretty powerful.
Well, I'm not saying she's not powerful, but I'm saying as far as physique wise, like China was built like a Hulk at one point. And then she,
Rhea's not as ripped as China, but trust me, she's built up. She's pretty strong.
I'm not saying she's not. So, yeah.
You want me to call her?
Yeah, give her a call. Get her on the line.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. See how that goes for you, David. You might be the one getting booked in the match.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that'll be done about 40 seconds. You'll be finished.
Well, it'll be an experience.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I don't know about that booking, Mark. Again, there's a reason you are not a booker. Because, well, I mean, but that's the thing.
Maybe I should be.
Yeah, maybe you should be.
I come up with some pretty good ideas.
You turn the industry on its head. Name one good idea.
I've laid out a bunch. My Cody Rhodes storyline,
Cody Rhodes joining the Bloodline was not a good storyline.
All right, I did another one a while back too with Cody, but
what was that one?
Just a whole feud with the McMahons because Cody, the McMahons wouldn't want Cody Rhodes because of their not so much liking Dusty Rhodes that they would do anything to prevent Cody from winning the world championship. Did you notice? Because you noticed Dusty never won a title when he was in WWE. Dustin never won the world championship when he was in WWE, and they embarrassed him.
Right.
They embarrassed Cody before too. So, kind of a thing where, of course, you think about that. Dusty was the enemy. Dusty was the booking enemy.
Why was he Oh,
Well, because he was booking the NWA.
Yeah.
No, that was their primary competition. And then he was working for WCW too.
Yeah.
So not a lot of there's not a lot of love lost, I would imagine, even though Dusty did end up working for them. It's one of those things, bygones get to be bygones, but but still deep down in your heart, it's like, yeah. You remember what happened when Dusty came back to WWE? Polka dots. Polka dots.
Well, see, I was a kid. I didn't like, they're tarnishing the legacy. Like, I watched it. That's the thing. When you're younger, you watching it, you ain't in the weeds with all the, what's going on with this and that. It was like, all right, he dancing. He a man of the people. But as you look back now, you're like, yeah, that was a huge, uncomfortable, awkward, ridiculous.
That was a total diss. I mean, look at the character of Goldust too. kind of a little freaky, and had that. And you remember the WrestleMania match with Roddy Piper where he was wearing women's underwear.
Yeah.
And
I like Goldust.
I like Goldust too, but and then Cody got buried and ended up being Stardust, and
I like Stardust too. Did you like Stardust?
No,
it was funny.
I felt like it was a slam to Cody.
But at that time, Cody hadn't it wasn't like, he blew our minds yet. So I like that. It was an entertaining character. It was funny, and he pulled it off.
They made the best of it.
Yeah. They both did. So they're iconic characters that they made. Obviously, it's an evolution to where it is now, full potential and everything. But they pulled that off.
Yeah. So Cody knocking off Dominic Mysterio last night, and really no problem. But boy, the hate for Dominic continues. Just everybody around the world hates Dominic Mysterio. I don't know if is there anybody in pro wrestling that's getting as much heat as him right now. I mean, Don Callis is kind of up there in AEW, but God, I just don't know if anybody is getting booed out of the building like Dominic Mysterio is.
Nah, he's on to something magical there. I love it.
Yeah, good for him, man. That'll keep you in business. That's for sure. What else did we? I think we pretty much hit just about everything else on the card. What about that John Cena promo, by the way? What'd you think of the John Cena popping out? Just taking a little time and then basically committing WWE to having to have a WrestleMania in London.
Yeah,
because he's not doing that without them actually considering it.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the whole point, or at least just stir some talk. But yeah, it was a good moment. I mean, to see him come out there, it's always good to see John back. I know you kept focusing on, is he going to take his hat off with that bald spot?
Well,
and it came off, and I don't know. I mean, that's always interesting for wrestlers, right? Because you really notice wrestlers when they start to lose their hair, right? Don't you? Is that the thing? Yeah. And it's like, he's losing his hair. What's he going to do with it? And then usually they'll shave it or figure it out, or Hogan.
Why doesn't John Cena just get hair plugs?
Yeah, I'll get him.
He's in Hollywood, man.
Yeah, I would think so, right?
I would think he's got enough money to do a little hair replacement.
Yeah. Because I don't know how he'd look if he shaved it.
That would look weird.
Just think about that. Maybe I'll AI up a photo of that, and I'll put it on the social media.
Yeah, I don't know if John would like that very much.
Well, it'd get his attention. Maybe he would. Maybe be like, damn, okay, maybe I should shave my head. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me come on the show.
They look like The Rock, though.
If he shaved his head, how would he look like The Rock?
He'd have a shaved head.
That don't even make any sense. See, that's the thing. Sometimes, I'm like, this guy is a genius. Mark Hoke, I get to work with a genius every day, and then you say something like that. So just because he has a shaved head, he's going to look like The Rock?
It would look like he's following in the footsteps of The Rock. The Rock went bald.
What about Stone Cold?
Yeah, but Steve had hair for a while, but it's a little different, I think. It would be different if John Cena shaved his head. That would be copying The Rock. We'd have to have Rock Cena 3.
Well, bring it on.
Wouldn't need spotlights.
Yeah, I'd watch that. Let's bring it back, man.
That would be interesting.
You know what I watched? May I?
What did you watch?
Mr. Grab Them Cakes.
Oh, the JYD
Dark Side of the Ring, man.
I haven't seen it yet. How was it?
JYD was my guy.
Did you learn something about him?
Yeah, I didn't know that he had that many struggles with drugs.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't in the mix of that. I just always saw him as I a fan when they were all good guys,
Right.
good guys. So I didn't, and even till now, I knew he died in a car accident and was just like, all right, but I never knew that his struggles with that or the way he lived it, like, that whole career. So it was very interesting to see his path and his journey, and that Dark Side of the Ring is something else, man.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I haven't seen an episode yet this year. I got to take some time and barrel through those.
Yeah, it's good.
Great show.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Great show. But yeah,
Magnum.
JYD did a lot of coke. He was
coke, crack,
he
all
was-
kinds of, like, he was doing the most, man.
Yeah, it was, it was kind of a shame because I think that was, it's funny when you think about some guys that never won a world championship that you kind of, when we were growing up, there were guys, you'd think about guys like Jake Roberts,
Mhm.
Davey Boy Smith, JYD was another one that you wonder, well, why didn't these guys win the world championship? Scott Hall is another guy.
Yeah.
And when we didn't know, we didn't know that they were having all these drug issues and stuff like that when they were around. And, you can't put the world title on somebody if you're worried that they're going to do something crazy like that.
What they said, the interesting thing about JYD was he was huge and making stupid money before he went to WWF.
Right.
And then when he came over there, like, obviously he was one of the main guys, but he never got that push. His position was not what it was before. And, hence the drug use ensued, and it just was different, man. But he was like a legend.
Yeah, I mean, all the time in Mid-South, and but he was partying it up then too.
Yeah, he was, but they loved him. They loved him
I
like
mean,
crazy. He was a next level superstar. They said he was making it, which is crazy. He's making like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month or something crazy that you didn't think they was making back then. But that was before he went to WWF. And obviously they gave him money there, but just to think he was making that money, the crowd was going nuts for him.
Yeah, he was
dog,
beloved.
The dog. Yeah, that was my guy, man.
Yeah, and it was a shame because a lot of the partying and everything that he did, as it really got worse and worse before he signed the WWE contract.
Mhm.
He was already kind of getting into that mode, and you could see he was putting on some weight.
Yeah.
And it just never quite clicked. And I remember seeing him when he was feuding with Greg Valentine. Right around that first, I think it was the first WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I actually saw those two wrestle at the Hershey Park Arena too.
Okay.
Saw JYD that close. It is still maybe the closest live 3 count or 2 9/10 count I've ever seen. I mean, it was, yeah, you can see it on the stream. It was like right there.
Yeah.
Right there. And I thought, oh my God, the JYD was going to win the championship. Nope.
Nah, it didn't. Yeah, it was an interesting story. Definitely one of my faves. And then once he left WWF, it was like he was wrestling in high school gyms, and then he went to WCW, and it was just like he wasn't the same dog.
No, he was not.
But definitely a legend, man. But that's also a thing. Like when you talk about this business, it's like there's so many. Like when you're on top, you think it's never gonna stop, and then the harsh reality sometimes is like, well, there's no pension for this thing. You better make them right moves, man, and get it together. But yeah, he had left his daughter's graduation or something, drove out late night, and then was like, I'm gonna drive home, and like he was on a good one, and zit off the road, man. So they told him to stay. Had he just stayed, man, we probably still have some JYD to talk about.
Yeah, it's too bad. Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of things to talk about, we got to get a commercial break in.
Is that something to talk about?
Yeah. Well, there'll be other people talking besides myself, Mark Hoke, and the David Difference here on the Mark Hoke Show. We come back. A whole lot of interesting news going on with, of course, we lost a member of the wrestling family this week. We'll talk about that. And a 64-year-old got a little crazy on TV this week, too. We're going to mention that as well. I'm sure you might know who we're talking about. But that's called a teaser, kids. Stick around for more on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN.
In a kayfabe world, LasVegasWrestlingScene.com brings you the real story. Las Vegas Wrestling Scene is the source for pro wrestling news, along with their up-to-date events calendar. Visit LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
Warning, Carl's Jr.'s charbroiled El Diablo burger is back. Do not attempt to eat this burger unless you like sweating, gasping, spontaneous use of profanity, and jalapeno, habanero, and pepper jack cheese-induced hallucinations. Carl's Jr. is not responsible for grown men crying in public. The El Diablo is back. My rewards members can set their mouth on fire for just $6.66 in the Carl's Jr. app with a one-time offer for an El Diablo single. Tax not included. Limit 1. See app for terms.
Dear Sharp Turns, don't spin your wheels. Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand, so you can bet your bottom dollar that we're sharper than ever. 'Cause we got traction, baby. Get a grip in the Camry all-wheel drive. Stay the course with the sleek Corolla, or turn up the traction in the elegant Crown. Check them out at Toyota.com.
Visit your Southern Nevada Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Somewhere at a house party, a game of beer pong ends in victory.
You're done, son!
The loser takes another hit of weed and staggers towards the door.
You okay, man?
Dude, I've never even been pulled over.
Yet.
Who asked you? I don't even have a speeding ticket.
Yet.
Come on, it's not that serious.
Yet.
Ooh, ouch, man.
Bad things haven't happened yet. Always drive sober. This message sponsored by Nevada Departments of Public Safety and Transportation, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
It kind of set me back a little bit education-wise.
I think personally it just changed the way I looked at medicine.
As a people, we have to work together.
Health is a right for all.
We get through it together.
We can find common ground.
We are resilient.
Adaptable.
COVID taught us health matters.
Health matters. Visit nmhec.org. This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health and Equity, and in cooperation by the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
Join the Vegas Chamber today. Being a member of the Vegas Chamber sends a powerful message of credibility and that your business is connected to a larger community of organizations dedicated to ensuring Nevada is a great place to live, work, and do business. Joining the Vegas Chamber and becoming part of the largest business organization in Nevada has never been easier. Grow your business within your budget. Visit vegaschamber.com and join today. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Food, utility assistance, healthcare, housing. Find the resources available in your community. Free and confidential help is here 24/7. Download the app. Text your zip code to 898-211. Call 211. Visit nevada211.org or chat with a specialist on our website. Get connected, get help.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Get ready for one of the most exciting and interactive events on the pro wrestling calendar. The 57th annual Cauliflower Alley Club reunion at the Plaza in Las Vegas. Meet some of your all-time professional wrestling favorites. Check out the wrestling memorabilia. Participate in terrific seminars and star-studded events, including Tuesday and Wednesday night CAC Awards and dinner nights. Visit caulifloweralleyclub.org and get your tickets and membership today. That's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM. The talk of Las Vegas, the Odyssey app worldwide. That's being streamed, and we are also streaming on our YouTube channel, The Mark Hoke Show, and at Twitch at twitch.tv/Mark Hoke. So there you go.
Yeah.
Got a couple other outlets we'll hit up later.
We got to get used to this, man, because I think you're too focused on your looks and trying to be.
Oh, stop it!
Trying to be pretty, man. And like before, it just used to be that voice, giving people the voice.
Are you insane?
Yes. Yeah, of course I am.
I am not focused on my looks.
During the break, man, you was over there. And
I can prove you're a liar.
You're wearing foundation.
You're
wearing foundation, Mark.
Here, everybody, look. Is there anything on my fingers? No.
I don't know, man.
Jeez, wearing foundation. I've done that though.
Wore foundation? I bet.
You want to hear a great story
I
about
do.
the time I really had to wear foundation?
I do. Was it the time at no, go
That
ahead.
it was not a Chica Bonitas, no.
Okay. RuPaul's
No.
Okay.
No, this was 5 days before my graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl that I was dating gave me the hickey the size of a baseball.
Okay. Okay.
It was bad.
Okay.
So graduation's coming up, and I really didn't want all the graduation pictures to have a giant bruise on my neck.
Right.
So I came up with a great story, by the way, a great story to cover it, because I was umpiring baseball.
Okay.
So I said it took a foul ball off the neck. Everybody bought it. So, by the way, all my friends out there that believed that story, now, 40 some odd years later.
Gotcha.
For you.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is I recently found out the cure for a hickey.
Don't get one?
Yeah. Number one, don't get them. It is the most ridiculous thing ever. What was the point of that? It was just to show off, like, look at me.
I think that's what it was. I think I was getting branded.
Yeah, I was in there doing something. Yeah. No.
Wasn't my idea.
It is absurd, man. I used to, well, let me not get into my
Okay, let's not. We got wrestling stuff to talk about. Oh, my God. Oh, the things that come out on the Mark Hoke show, that is for sure.
Yeah.
I did want to mention this other story, too, before we get into what happened on Dynamite this week. You were having some fun with this, and yesterday when we were doing our reaction show on YouTube to Money in the Bank.
Bud Light.
You were throwing up those Bud Light cans.
Cheers. Is it? We got them.
Now, Dave, you didn't know what happened with Bud Light?
So I heard bits and pieces. Well, so I know the premise of it. I don't know where it went bad or why. If people just didn't like what they were trying to say, or if the person that was promoting it did something wild.
Okay, well let me tell you the story.
All right.
So Bud Light decided to do a promotion with Dylan Mulvaney, who is a social media influencer. Who now get those off the screen. I do not want any Bud Light stuff on the screen. It's bad, very bad.
Very bad. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
it's
tell me
very
the story.
bad.
Tell
the story. Then you tell me as a branding and marketing director if this is what you'd like to promote.
All right, let's go.
So Dylan Mulvaney is a man who lives as a female.
Right.
Now he did this 365 days of womanhood, and he kind of runs around like he's acting like he's a 12-year-old girl.
Okay.
Buying tampons and giving makeup tips, and did a Nike ad where he was advertising sports bras and all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Now he lives as transgender, or he's just doing this as a shtick?
That is a very good question.
Okay. Okay.
That is a very good question. We do not know the answer.
Nobody knows.
So Bud Light decided to do a promotion with him where, first they made a special Bud Light can, and then they did some sort of promotion where he was drinking Bud Light in a bathtub, and doing all the female thing. And
what's the? I'm not even.
Yeah. Well, people did not like that.
They didn't like him in a bathtub drinking.
No, they didn't like that Bill Mulvaney was promoting Bud Light.
Okay.
Bud Light has now lost $30 billion, and they are now not the number one selling beer in the country. They'd had that spot for decades.
Right.
Not a popular brand to be associated with right now.
Hold on. So that's it. It's because people didn't like I used to eat Dig-'em Smacks, and it was a frog that could talk and hop around.
Dave, it's a different ballgame with this person.
Well, I don't know. Did they do?
People are very offended by a lot of people are very offended by Dylan Mulvaney. So last night on Money in the Bank,
haven't sold me yet.
As we are going through the matches, and first match ends, and we have the Bud Light winners toast, and there's Bud Light cans everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they can't sell a Bud Light right now. Bars are dropping it. Their distribution people are going crazy because they can't sell it. They've been doing these giveaways where they're basically giving away for free because no one wants to be associated with Bud Light. And all of a sudden, WWE is putting up all this Bud Light stuff,
right,
all over. They're doing a sweepstakes for SummerSlam, and you had the winners moments and everything else. And I was curious to see what the wrestling fan reaction would be to that. So I hopped on the Twitter machine this morning.
Okay. Oh boy. What? Yeah.
And
How'd that go?
And I'm going to say it didn't go well. I don't know if it's going to necessarily have a major effect on WWE.
Zero.
But I would imagine they're probably going to be getting a few calls and seeing what happened with social media last night. It wasn't good, David.
Well, tell me, you say it's not good. Paint a picture, because I ain't sold yet. I am not sold. I think somebody's got to. Bud Light ain't dead.
It's on life support, dude.
Well, I can see if this person did something that was just like
no people.
horrendous.
Well, a lot of people are offended because of the way that Dylan Mulvaney acts. It's they feel like it's mocking women, and I'll just leave my personal feelings out of it. But a lot of people feel like that, this was not the person to be selling to Bud Light.
Right.
This is an all-American brand, and they did not like it, and Bud Light has been destroyed because of it.
I'm a man. I drink beer. Get over it.
Well, but just saying. So
yeah. So Twitter was
be,
going nuts. What's new? And
so it's going to be interesting to see the reaction that everybody has. I don't like I said, I don't know if WWE is going to have any fallout from that, but it did surprise me in that WWE is pretty smart about their marketing. They've stayed away from a lot of controversial brands and things like that. And I don't remember them actually ever pushing a brand of beer. Yeah, see, you're cringing right now, as you can see. I don't remember them doing that.
Yeah.
Because they're TV 14, so they've got you Skittles and Snickers and stuff like that.
Right.
But I can't remember them pushing any alcohol, and I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Well, I can tell you that check is ridiculous.
That check had to be ridiculous, considering the negative feelings towards Bud Light right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna do research today on that so I can.
I think you should, because that's kind of part of your job that you do.
Well, but here's a thing as well: is you said you wouldn't take a big check to promote.
I wouldn't want to
get out of personal business and personal. You're like, let it go, man.
Would not want to.
Unless it tarnishes
Bud Light right
your
now.
brand, and I don't think it would.
I will stay away from Bud Light until things maybe settle down a little bit.
$1.5 million check for 6 months of promotion.
No,
sorry,
not right now.
Yeah, whatever.
Not right now.
Whatever.
Good luck.
Whatever,
dude.
Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude.
I don't want people to hate my show.
All right, but tell me about this 64-year-old who? Yeah, who?
What do you mean who?
I must have missed it, and I don't know who you're talking about, or maybe I do.
Well, if you remember watching the Forbidden Door, a certain gentleman by the name of Sting, took a nasty shot when he was on a table from Sammy Guevara.
Was that a Forbidden Door?
That was a Forbidden Door. Well, Dynamite, the revenge happened as some tables were set up outside of the ring, kind of right around where you would have, if you can kind of picture it, where WWE would have their announcers table. They don't do that at AEW. Their guys are off to the side, but about that distance. They were having a match. Sammy and was in this, and Sting and was teamed with Darby Allin, and they had a ladder in the ring. Darby set the ladder up, and he was going to jump on Sammy from the ladder, and Sting jumps in and starts wagging his fingers like, no. Sting climbed the ladder, jumped from inside the ring out to these two tables to land the revenge shot.
Yeah.
Got a little messed up. It wasn't anything serious. But the 64-year-old Sting did a dive from a ladder inside a ring to tables set up outside the ring.
Insane.
That would be a word for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that and was like, what, number one, I don't know, what is he doing? What is he doing? But it looked like he hit his face on the table.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I was like, damn, there goes some teeth in the jaw. I don't know. I didn't see him afterwards, or the camera. I mean, was there anything of that? Did he injure himself?
Kind of hard to tell. He had makeup on, but yeah.
But I'm saying, did he look like, oh man, my face?
No, but I had read that he was minor injuries was the quote that I read.
Oh.
Minor injuries.
Yeah.
Dude, you're 64.
No.
And we love Sting. We love Sting. You don't have to do that, bud.
Yeah, there's no point to it.
But, good for him. I mean, and the way he's performed, I mean, if you saw him at Forbidden Door and then saw him, what he did on Dynamite, he looks good. I mean, he's dressed in all black all over his body, so you don't, see the ravages of time. But, he's still performing at a very high level. I mean, not superstar high level, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stinger, my man, dude. Come on.
Yeah, no need for that, Stinger, man. The way you sacrifice your body, what is it? It's still real to me, damn it. Stay off of them ladders, Sting.
Yeah, please. Come on. We want to see a good retirement match, which that is in the works at this point, from what we understand from AEW, that at some point soon.
Hogan.
That's coming. No.
Bring Hogan.
Terry's too busted up.
Yeah,
he keeps saying he wants to have another match.
Yeah, he said. What did he say he's doing? I don't know. I don't think it was stem cells, but he said he was on some, and he felt better. Somebody posted something. He felt better than ever.
No, I'm
he
not
got
buying
one
that.
more in him. I don't know what he was on.
That's what he keeps saying. He's got one more in him, but
I don't.
If I were him, that would be a terrible decision. I mean, 9 back surgeries, the hip replacements, and everything else.
I don't want to see that. You see how Ric Flair went out. Like, leave that be.
Yeah, just let it go.
Leave that be. Don't tarnish it, man. I'm looking at like whatever. I'm working on social media for July, but I'm looking at all like the greats, man. And don't tarnish don't tarnish your career with a whack match when you're over the hill.
We don't need it.
I mean, and his bugging out over John Cena losing his hair.
Well, Hogan's always had a little bit of a.
We don't need no 80-year-olds out there scrapping.
Wow, he's not that old.
Well, how old is he?
He's in his 60s.
Who?
Hogan.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm saying, who knows? He might be at 80. Like, I got one more, brother.
What you gonna do, brother? Anyway, well, let's get our last break in, and then we'll wrap up all the rest of the news in pro wrestling. Vince McMahon's being a bad boy, apparently, and we say goodbye to one of the more tragic figures in pro wrestling, even though you wouldn't know it the way he lived.
Right.
So we will have more for you here on the Mark Hoke Show, here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, streaming on the Odyssey app, and also live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So thanks for sticking around with us, everybody. We will be right back.
Infinite Wellness can help you achieve your goals and look and feel your best. Our regenerative medicine clinic utilizes stem cell and exome therapy. We also have a comprehensive weight loss program and numerous other services you can find on our website at infinitewellness.info. We're located at 8925 West Coast Road, Suite 100, right across from IKEA. You can book your appointment today by calling us at 702-842-2244 or find us on social media at infinitewellness.lv. We'd love to be a part of your journey.
Understanding the many things in a mother's life affecting her pregnancy is important. You can help improve the health of all mothers and babies in Nevada by completing a Pregnancy Risk Assessment Monitoring System survey about your recent pregnancy. Also known as PRAMS, the survey is from the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The survey asks new moms about their experience before, during, and after pregnancy. Responses are confidential and used to help improve the health of mothers and babies in Nevada. If you receive a PRAMS survey, please share your story. Learn more at nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. That's nvprams.dpbh.nv.gov. This message, sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Youth and young adult, education, employment, behavioral and mental health. Find resources for youth in your community. Free and confidential help is here 24/7. Download the Youth app for yourself, a friend, or your family. Text your zip code to 898-211. Call 211, visit nevada211.org, or chat with a specialist on our website. Get connected. Get help.
This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Wick Farmers Market Nutrition Program promotes purchasing locally grown fresh fruits and vegetables. Attending the farmers market is a fun way for families to shop for a variety of produce. Households participating in the Nevada Women, Infants, and Children Program, commonly known as WIC, may be eligible to receive coupon vouchers for the purchase of fresh fruits and vegetables at participating farmers markets. Each active WIC participant may receive $30 for each WIC farmers market. Coupons may be used through September 30th. Call your local WIC clinic today to see if you qualify, or go to nevadawic.org and click the farmers market banner for more information. That's nevadawic.org, sponsored by the Nevada WIC Program, Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station. The Farmers Market Nutrition Program is an equal opportunity provider.
On Facebook, I saw someone posted...
It's going to turn you into a zombie.
Created by the government.
They're going to plant a chip into your body.
It's the mark of the beast.
This is fake.
This information is just about as bad as the pandemic itself.
This information is easy. You don't see the harm it does.
COVID taught us health matters.
Stop the spread of misinformation.
Health matters. Visit nmhec.org. This message funded by a grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health and Equity, and aired in cooperation by the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, I'm Diana. As a veteran, I know that for many servicemen and women, the battle doesn't always end when they come home. Because I too struggle with the invisible wounds of service. Thankfully, I found American Humane's Pups for Patriots program, which brought Sam into my life. Before being paired with Sam, I didn't get out of bed for most days. Pups for Patriots and Sam literally changed my life. Now I'm able to go to the store without having a panic attack. I'm finally able to live my life the way I want to live it. Pups for Patriots provides trained service dogs to veterans like me at no cost. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots service dog program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
A message from American Humane.
If you're looking for an award-winning dining experience at outstanding prices, look no further than Unique Eats. Whether it's their incredible breakfast platters, amazing pastas and sandwiches, or world-renowned pizzas, celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco will have you covered. Check out their coffee and smoothie bar, vegetarian options, catering, and top-flight service. Visit Unique Eats today at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100. Call 702-992-3038 or go to uniqueeatslv.com, and we'll see you all at Unique Eats.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we're back for one more round on the Mark Hoke Show. I'm Mark Hoke, along with the David Difference, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We just keep bringing it to you. That's what we do.
That's all we do.
Well, we do other things too.
Nah, nothing else. Just bring it to you.
Well,
24/7, 365. Just bring it to you.
We're trying. Someday soon, we may end up doing that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Are you excited? We could be bonded forever, David.
Yeah, man, like Siamese twins, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, you said it.
But we could be pals.
Eh.
All right, fair enough. Well, a couple other little stories that are popping up around the world of pro wrestling. One is everybody's getting a little mad at Vince McMahon over there at WWE. I don't know if you saw this, David.
What's new?
Of course, Vince has taken over creative and has gotten back into his old ways of changing shows up day of and ripping up scripts and driving everybody nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently WWE has people in there that are trying to counteract this by when they are setting up the scripts for SmackDown and Raw, that they're announcing matches a couple of weeks ahead of time because they know that Vince doesn't like to generally change things like that. So if something's advertised, they try to stick with it as much as possible, even though that hasn't always been the case. But apparently there's a big feud in WWE right now of trying to get Vince to stop changing things the day of the events, especially obviously for Raw and SmackDown. Dave, what are you doing that? I mean, is there anything that you can do?
No. I think that's been the culture forever, hasn't it? And I think even before we knew what was going on behind the scenes, it was probably going on. So until Vince McMahon dies, I think he's stuck in that routine, man. It's going to be him. That's the way he operates. I mean, but if you look at the success of that company, I mean, sometimes that chaoticness is what catapults it.
Well, let me ask you this though. Some people say that look how successful Vince has been with what he's done. But on the same side, don't you think that if maybe you stuck with a plan and didn't do those kind of things, you could be even more successful?
I don't know how you get more successful than what they're doing now. And what are the plans? Stuck to what plans? We don't even know. So maybe, I mean, it just is what it. That's the thing is everybody now we live in like this HR culture. I don't like this. I don't like this is how it should be. Go start your own company. If that's how it's supposed to be and you can't handle it, get out of there. Go start your own company. If he fails, he fails, But everybody, just even like with this Bud Light thing, everybody want to say something and got something to say. Just shut up. Start your own beer company.
Oh, I don't know. $30 billion in lost revenue is that's saying something.
Oh, it is saying something. That's what I'm saying. But why? Because everybody's taking everything personal about them and letting it affect them, man. You got to find your center. Breathe.
There you go. Well, so that would be your advice to everybody, all the talented WWE employees who are not happy.
Chill. Any job, anybody at any job in life, if you're unhappy and like, oh man, why am I? You have a choice to be there or not.
Fair enough. Well, we also have found out that something happened at Forbidden Door. That, of course, this whole situation with the Elite and CM Punk, trying to keep those guys apart as much as possible. Well, apparently they had them on other sides of the building. And if you didn't know, CM Punk went on early and the other guys went on a little later on the card. So supposedly, this is the rumor that was said, that they were completely separated on opposite sides of the building in Toronto for Forbidden Door. So the paths would not cross. Dave, we talked about this a little bit last week. Is this situation tenable? Can you keep this up?
Now, it's hard to believe that they have that much animosity towards each other. Like I've beefed with people. I've had all out brawls. And then I went to high school and then like passed them in the hall. And it was what it was. I give them a look like, you want some more, but life goes on. A year later, life goes on. So for them to hold grudges, they're setting a bad example for the kids.
The kids?
Yeah, for the kids out there, man. Setting a bad example, man. So I'd say squash it. Let's go. Let's get this show back on the road. But yeah, I think if they're gonna, everybody holding grudges, everybody so deep in I don't know what's the grudge.
Well, we had Brian Alvarez on last week who suggested that there's legally with everything that happened that they're not supposed to talk. They're supposed to stay apart. I just don't know how you can keep a workplace going like that.
Yeah.
That, especially in pro wrestling. I mean, that just seems really, really odd to me that you would be having a couple groups of guys where you have a couple of locker rooms, but having them on separate sides of the building just seems like something's got to be done about it. You know what I mean? You need to clean that situation up and end it one way or another.
Well, you saw, I mean, and we always go back in that time machine, but in the locker room, how many people just scrapped it out?
Yeah. Fights happen all the time, but it's an HR age, brother. You said it.
Yeah.
It's an HR age.
It's insane, but it's only HR because everybody applied to it and like, oh yeah, we got to do this and this got to be right. But did you ever see the Lanny Poffo and I don't know, he was in the locker room, somebody slapped him and dude just started whooping him and did you see that on YouTube?
I did not, but that
you gotta watch that.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, Lanny.
Yeah. I watched, what I was watching? Primetime. And Lenny Poffo with the with the frisbees and the pole.
Yeah.
I never could stand Lenny Poffo.
Wow.
Garbage.
Wow. Anyway, well, and speaking of RIPs, we want to pass our condolences on to the family and friends of Darren Drozdov, the Droz, who passed away earlier this week. Of course, he was a former football player and had his pro wrestling career ended prematurely in a in-ring accident with D'Lo Brown, and was paralyzed. Just passed away this week, and he was, I believe, 54. But the dude lived his life, man. And a lot of people in pro wrestling, were sharing pictures of, going, like Layfield went hunting with him all the time. And, people loved the guy. And, just a really, really sad to see, him passing. And, it was a tragedy when everything happened. But, there's a guy made the best of what he had, lived his life as full as he could after being paralyzed. So we got to say goodbye to the Droz, man.
R.I.P., brother. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Life ain't promised and health ain't promised and situations. But you know what? In that situation, when all physical breakdowns, what do you got? You got your mind, man.
Yep.
And that's what we got right now. So, Mark, when I talk about let's get to that gym, man, and hit it and change our lives, man, it's all mindset. You got 20 minutes.
Fair enough. Hey, that's going to wrap it up for us today. David Difference, I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us. Make sure you follow us on all the social medias. Just look up the Mark Hoke Show. We're everywhere. And I got to show Dave something on the Google machine, too. I think he's going to get a kick out of. But, we certainly appreciate the likes, the follows, subscribing on YouTube. We're putting all sorts of great stuff up there. As you can see, we're up in the game a little bit here on the Mark Hoke Show. And we appreciate you coming along with us. And once again, thank all of you for listening. So give us all those follows, the likes, the subscribes, whatever you can do. Just search the Mark Hoke Show. You'll find us everywhere. Thank you for being with us today on KDAWN. We certainly do appreciate your time here on Sunday morning. Have a great 4th of July weekend, and we will see you next week on the Mark Hoke Show. Want more of the Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join the Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Right now, say